What is up, contestants of the Tournament of Iron Fist? This is your King Omar.
And this is Fury David.
And this is Raven Josh.
And this is the Anime Squad Podcast, episode 103. Woo! Yay! And like always, and never forget, guys, I need you to hit that like button to hit your 10-hit combo. Activate your rage drive so you could hit the subscribe button. Hit that notification bell to activate your devil gene, and always let us know who your favorite fighter is, and down below the comment section. I would like to know if you play Tekken or you're a big fan of Tekken. Just want to hear you guys. And like always, never forget, there's timestamps for your favorite shows of the week. You know, a lot of shows are wrapping up. A couple of shows are wrapping up this week. And we're at the end game at this point. And like always, we have social medias like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff. So you can follow us. Discord, follow us there. We talk back.
And of course, today we're missing Ravi as well. So he'll be here next week for sure.
Yes, hopefully he'll be here next week. But it's sad that he's not here. But he does still have a couple reviews. So you'll still hear from him about a couple of shows. But with that being said, let's just jump into it. Starting off with the Cuphead Show, episode 9 and 10. And starting off with episode 9, I didn't think we were getting a continuation. That was a shock to me from last week with the whole invisible sweater gag with Cuphead.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting to get that bag. I'm like, oh, that we're just gonna continue without the sweater, you know.
Yeah, but
they actually did, and it was pretty funny.
It really
was. It was a good episode.
Yeah, freaking. You know, I knew sooner or later Cuphead was just not gonna wear that thing all for the rest of his life. So
he's kind of dumb.
Oh,
and he was just like, yeah, I took it off. He has no fear at all.
He's dumb and the devil's dumb.
Yeah, they're both like really stupid. And then yeah, so it's like a perfect dynamic duo between the two of them. As you can see when they were sitting in line and he was just telling jokes and the devil was laughing at them.
Yeah, they were enjoying each other. At first they weren't. You know, the devil was like, nah, your jokes are funny. But he's laughing at the end.
Yeah, he's enjoying his jokes. Hey man, when you're in line, you need good company.
Good company with the devil.
Yeah, exactly. And my favorite part, I think, is the whole fence scene where like he throws a tantrum and he's like, "Look what you did, devil! Like, wow, you messed up the fence. Now we gotta paint it. Why don't you paint it, devil?" And
they tricked him.
Yeah, they tricked him. They made a deal with the devil again. It was like, if you paint our fence, I'll give you my soul. And he's like, I'm down.
No, he'll take off the sweater.
And like just that whole segment where like the devil at first didn't look like he knows what he was doing. Like he was just picking the fence. And he was like, oh, I'll show you how to paint. I'll show you. And he's like turning into like Phantasme, like from Mickey Mouse and stuff. It was really cool. I really liked it. I really liked that.
Brushes were dancing at this point.
I really liked that sequence a lot.
He's making his masterpiece,
his magnum opus. And hey man, you know, gotta give credit to Mugman. He tried his best to protect him. He still protected him in the end.
My man's crazy, man. He's the best character of the show.
The most craziest part was when he put the sweater on the devil.
I know.
Yeah, the devil's just dying.
And the fact that he was able to find it, because it's an invisible sweater, and you're like, how are you going to find that? The Cuphead...
He was just grabbing everywhere.
It was so funny. I was like, dang, good job on you, Mugman.
I will say again, I love how they gave these characters like personalities that weren't evident in the actual game. Like they just made up personalities for them.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's so fun to see in the show, most definitely. And hey, you guys want to try out that ride that rips your clothes off?
Yeah.
That sounds like fun, man.
Sure.
Go take a girl to that. You're having a really fun time.
Oh yeah, but yeah, that was episode 9. I didn't expect a continuation, but hey, we got one and it was paid off in the end. Still didn't get the soul. Poor devil.
What do you mean, poor devil? He's the devil.
Yeah, he always fails.
All right. I mean, hey man, it just wasn't his day. Anyway, we move on to episode 10. Speaking of Mugman, living dangerously. Dangerous Mugman.
Yeah, he becomes a legend.
Heck yeah, bro. All because of
Those glasses, man.
those goggles.
Those goggles are made him a hero.
Heck yeah. Y'all have
Dangerous Dirk's goggles.
y'all ever had that like kind of like when you put on a cape and you feel like a superhero?
When I was a kid, yeah.
Yeah, that's what it felt like.
And of course he did too. Until the moment he realized he didn't have the goggles no more.
He didn't know until like later on.
You know what? He actually usually a trope would be like them freaking out, right? Or after they didn't realize that. But he actually was just like, you know what? I have confidence now.
Yeah, it was like I didn't have him this whole time and I did it. I still did it. So why change it?
Yeah.
It was cool. You know, this whole journey that pork rind made them go.
And it wasn't even for that.
No, because Cuphead and Mugman can't flip a card to see that it's just a laundry service, but they actually went to the mountain itself.
And at the end, of course, it was a little cameo from one of the bosses.
The most infamous boss in that game, the three-headed dragon, the green one. Oh, if you guys play the game, you guys know that level itself is just agonizing to play.
Yeah.
It's so hard because you have to jump on the clouds and they disappear and you're like, oh. So it was really cool to see that dragon. I was hoping to see him because a lot of like the famous levels I have been represented so far, so that was really cool, really awesome. I wondered, like, now that we only have 2 episodes left, who will still get represented, like boss wise, because I know we still get Chalice maybe, right?
Let me see. What are we missing? I think we're missing a couple people.
Yeah, one in particular comes to my mind. It's like the mermaid girl.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I'm pretty sure they're represented as well in the show.
But yeah,
that was episode 10. We got more pork rind, which was lovely to see.
yeah, it's a sweet and short episode.
He hates those damn cups.
For real. I love his fantasy where he's like, he just smashes.
He's like murdering them.
I was like, oh damn.
Pretty much murder them.
Yeah, but it's just a dream. It was just a dream.
It was a happy dream, apparently.
Yeah, he would totally never do that, right?
Never, of course not. And I love like how when he just didn't want to get annoyed anymore. He's like, here, have the machine, go home.
Yeah, just take it.
So that was cool. But yeah, that was episode 10. We only have 2 more episodes, which we'll probably wrap up next week. We have The Legend of Vox Machina, episode 10 and 11. Starting off episode 10. Freaking Percival, man, he's losing it. We know he's losing it, but we've seen it.
His inner demon thingy is evolving even more.
Evil aura,
they even see it now.
No, yeah, at first it was just a surprise when he showed it off.
Yeah, the eyes. They only saw the eyes thing, but now that the smoke itself is appearing more, it's gotten worse on him.
No, yeah,
it's taking over him. He's getting more aggressive too.
Exactly. Until I'm surprised that now that he's fighting it, he still can withhold it. So that was cool to see. And yeah, freaking Ridley, that handless engineer. What y'all think about her?
I don't know what to think about her. She's sus.
Very.
Very sus.
He should have just blasted her.
She should have just blasted her. But like, she did help them, and she didn't know what was going on, and she was obviously hurt by the Briarwood, so it's because she doesn't have her hand anymore. So something happened there that broke off the good relations between them.
Yeah, and just like seeing that whole flashback with her and the Percival family.
But at the same time, seeing that too, that scene, the torture scene, you get where Percival is at too. Heck like, man. I wouldn't trust her after all that torture he got.
That was like gruesome, bro. Like,
yeah,
there you go through the chest, man. Jesus,
just reminded me of a horror film with the guy with the hook.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that when watching the show that I realized is like Percival, when I first saw him, I was just like, he's just a normal guy and all these crazy people. He's not. He's messed up, man.
Very messed up. He's the one that needs the most help, if anything.
Yeah.
Where Pike tells him is like, hey, you need to go to church.
He's like, this is a dumb thing to say. Like, it's really stupid. We're here now. Why would I go to a church?
Yeah.
We don't have time right now.
I'm trying to get vengeance, girl. And but yeah, the whole Asarim scene, I was like, oh crap. And
that's episode 10, right?
Yes.
Or is that part of?
No, that's 10.
It's 10. Oh, okay, I thought it was 11.
No, that was 10. When Cassandra betrays them, sets them up.
But at the same, well, for me, I guess I kind of thought of it a while back when we first saw her. Like, she's okay. I had a feeling that she was mind controlled in general, so that's why the betrayal happened. But I feel like it wasn't a betrayal. You get me?
Yeah. Like you saw it coming. Like there was something a little bit off about her.
Yeah.
Other than her getting her throat slit off. But yeah, I didn't see it coming, so I'm pretty dumb. And I was like, "Yo, blaster Percival!" Like, he was dumbfounded. He was like, "What the hell?"
Yeah, he was destroyed at that part.
To the point where his demon aura, whatever, engraved her name on the gun, and I was like, "Yo, I'm a blaster when I see her." I was like, "Oh crap!" And then Vox, he slides in there and is like, "Yo, I'm gonna cut your sister. You better tell her what's up."
Yeah, he kind of messed up too, man. He should have known this, that he could get mind controlled too, because it happened before.
But I guess he didn't see the Briarwoods being
there.
So that's not his fault. Like, he was just trying to be like, if anything, he was gonna knock her out and then like open the door, but then he got brain control as well. And that's what we got the whole scene with the acid, which was
it was funny at the end though.
Oh, with Drog?
Yeah.
Oh, he dived into. Hey man, that's a hero if I ever saw one.
I know Drog was so badass in that scene, and Pike's healing him. He's just going all over, screaming. So painful.
I know that he didn't hesitate, man. He's like, I'll go in. Like, it's not like, it was funny how he delivered it, but it was just like, hey man, that takes some heroism. Don't take credit where credit's due. And if anything, it reminded me of,
it was crazy because all of them were working as a team at that time.
Oh yeah. Like, even Scatterly, he came quick with it, and he used his purple hand to get him all the way to the top for more time. But like I was saying, like with the Drog scene, it reminded me of, like, have you guys seen Hercules? When like Hercules dives
you
in.
dumb.
It legit is that scene.
When he's in hell and then he jumps into the soul pool.
Yeah, to get a Meg.
Yeah, but he's slowly dying.
Yeah.
Jeez.
But yeah, cool scene. I was worried, especially when the elf girl messed up and accelerated the time.
No, well, it wasn't her fault. It was that one lady telling, what's her name again? Ridley literally said to smash the thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the most dumbest thing you would do. It would just pour more.
I mean, it's like a risk, you know. It's like, hey,
Well, you know, they didn't know what was gonna happen, right? Like, Achilles just tried to grab onto the thing, and then it just.
No, but I meant it was Ridley's fault that this plan was made.
Well, I don't know. She was like, I'm so smart, and then she makes that, and I'm like, you're not that smart.
You're not that smart.
You're not that smart, dude.
But yeah, that was it for that part.
Yeah,
that
I think
episode.
one more thing. The whole reason the Briarwoods were there, and like they were doing all that stuff, like was found out that they had like a certain material that to raise the Whisper one, the one they worship, which is like continuing on with the next episode, which we see the Briarwoods. They're ready to do their ritual, the summoning for the Whisper one, and they're like excited. It's like, oh, I don't know who to sacrifice because we have so many options now. we have two options now.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one was cool. It was just all like fight episode of anything. Just like the Vox Machina group versus the Briarwoods.
That was
round 2.
It gave me that same feeling as Invincible in a way.
Really?
When it came to the action scenes.
Oh, okay.
That was crazy.
Yeah, the choreography in the show is pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like that was like pretty inventive like moves and stuff. Like where Pike slides down the thing with her I guess like holy shield. That was cool.
Yeah. Pike did a lot of work. I mean, everyone did work.
Yeah. No, everyone did their part.
Yeah.
Everyone had their what to do. Even Skag.
Yeah, even though he was silent throughout most of it.
Yeah. Well, he tried.
Yeah, he did. He did.
He has good ability too. You know, he has. Yeah. But you know, that's why she, you know, stopped him from talking because he has a pretty good ability.
If he can't sing, he can't do anything.
Pretty much.
Yeah, man, it was intense.
And then the Percival and the sister with the Briarwood guy.
Yeah, the vampire guy.
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, man. Like the fact that he was able to like,
dude, he was fighting almost everyone.
Yeah, like the fact that he could block, you know, a sword attack or like, you know, sword attacks in general with his gun. It's like, damn, bro. And like, if you don't got anything else, that's the only thing you can do, right? Jesus.
Yeah, because he was doing like multiple combos within like different fights.
Plus, like, you know, that like from last episode, the demon entity wanted to blast Cassandra like right off the bat. He was like, no, like there has to be a reason why she's like this. There's no way my sister would do this. Although she did convince me, I was like, yo, she did turn to the dark side. We should blast her. That's why I'm not.
That's why I like that scene between the Percival and what's her name, the sister.
Oh, Cassandra.
No, the other sister.
Oh, Vex or Vox.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was like, yo, snap out of it.
Yeah, from last episode. Yeah. So I feel like he's finally like he's lifting himself out of that darkness. Even though the darkness keeps consuming him, he's trying his best.
Yeah, more and more, if anything.
Yeah, to maintain him.
And like I don't blame him either, because you know, your sister betrayed you. Like, it's devastating. He's like, what the hell? I came here to obviously rescue the town, but like I rescued my sister as well. Then I found out she was alive.
Yeah, it's like it's just.
It was tough.
He's a broken man.
Yeah, very broken. I think like next episode, last one, that thing is gonna come out, whatever is consuming him.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, but hey, the elf girl, super clutch, came in saving everyone.
Super clutch in the paint.
Yeah, she became the light. She became their light.
I like that they bring that back.
Yeah, man, that was really cool. Yeah, she deserved that moment, and the Drog fight was cool too.
When Grog was fighting him and he beats him and he's holding him up in front of the rock.
Say it, Omar.
It reminded me of Dragon Ball Z, bro. Hey, yes it did, man. Like when Piccolo's holding Raditz and Goku. You guys know the scene.
I don't know what you're talking about.
But yeah, that was cool. And hey, the fact that he didn't die from that blast, but that Briarwood did.
Yeah, good.
Very good. But hey, that's what made.
I think Pike and Grog are like really best friends.
Oh, very much
Yeah.
so. Very much so. Like
They have a cute like best friend relationship.
Yeah.
No, yeah, very much so. And then the whole ending to it, where they were trying to get the Whisper one,
Oh, she's trying to get the Whisper one.
like at all costs.
Yeah, because now her husband's dead, so she's like, I have to. This is my goal.
What I have to lose, right?
What does she have to lose? But she said it failed. Well, not failed, but he stopped.
He didn't come.
Yeah.
Well, he turned into that thing.
Yeah.
You know.
That's what I was thinking too. Like he's the orb thingy that's floating there.
Yeah.
Like, you see the silhouette of him, but it disappears and becomes the orb.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I think
who knows what that is.
yeah, because after she said she fell, she got blasted.
Blasted multiple times.
Heck yeah, good job, Percival. But yes, our elf girl, she took the sacrifice
Oh yeah, damn.
to protect Vox. And
Is she gonna live?
yeah, man, ain't that something? Like when Pike was like, okay, I need some time before my thing, and then the astral form disappears, man. What are the odds, man?
And that was our only healer. Well, second healer.
Mhm. And you're just like, oh crap.
What's gonna happen next?
She was their light. How they're gonna let their light die now?
The sun's down, man.
Can't have the sun down in your team. No. But yeah, hopefully they save her in time, or I don't know, man. I'm worried about her if anything for the next episode.
Yeah.
And that orb thing. So yeah, very action-packed episode, very entertaining to watch. Awesome. And since we're at the climax, I wonder how this is gonna wrap up for next week.
Yep.
We have Life with an Ordinary Guy Who Reincarnated into a Total Fantasy Knockout, episode 11.
Oh man, this episode was boring.
Oh, yes, very much so. Oh,
It
God.
was.
I'll be honest with you. I watched this episode while talking to people on Discord because it was so boring. Like, who cares? I don't care anymore, bro. For some reason, what's her face is like possessed or whatever now, and then just dumps her in the thing.
Yeah, because I guess the demons that were the demons before, I guess
they show up again.
They show up again.
Yeah, that showed like up twice in the past. Ever.
So now we know that the maid is that demon that we saw before.
Prior.
Yeah. So that's the reason why our both characters are controlled in the way.
And that's basically why this whole thing is happening, because of her.
Because of her fault in general.
And controlling.
This is just like the most dumb like a series of events to happen. Like, it's just dumb, dude. They had a revolution. The revolution died. It's like things are just happening.
Yeah.
And now they have like this big robot. When this turned into a mecha, and that now they're gonna Tachibana and Jinguji are gonna fight. Like, what is that?
Yeah.
What is
I'm not gonna lie to you. I was dozing here and there, and I hate this anime where like when they attack and like the first shot miss, right? Because it always misses.
Oh God, you're with this.
Yes, I am with this.
This is in every mech show.
Yeah, I know.
When has it
I'm just bringing it up.
The whole beam thing. Why does it take forever?
Yeah, why does a beam take forever? It takes ages the second beam.
Well, because it always takes forever. These lasers are huge. All right, that will never change from any show like that.
It's a mecha trope.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
I think you're just more upset with the anime itself.
Probably that's why I was
like, I don't want to watch this anymore. We're one episode left.
Yes.
What's the resolution going to be? Are they going to kiss?
Yes.
On the lips.
This hateful
tongue.
sexual tension that Tachibana and Jinguji are having.
With tongue.
So the whole issue right now, it's kind of dumb. The whole issue is that he wants the what do you call it? He just wants to be praised. That's it.
Yeah, he wants something for himself.
Yeah.
Have it like, hey, not only Tachibana has a cute charm, but Tachibana does this.
Yeah.
Because Jinguji's been that his whole anime.
Yeah, and he hasn't said anything.
Yeah.
Because he's so boring.
Yeah, he's probably the most boring character I've ever seen in anime ever in history.
Damn.
Like, he is really boring.
Like for a character like him, like compared to like Saitama's like a normal guy. He's just like he hardly like has emotion as much. But when it kicks in, like he tends to like have the comedy later on. Like you see his face react. At least give me that for this guy. This guy just plain like flat, you know?
Yeah, I guess they cover that with like his inner monologues.
Yeah.
Where like he's reacting to Tachibana for the
But it's just like
10 billion time.
there's no character to this man. Like, he doesn't even have a character. He just sits there and he just says things, and he's boring, and then he argues.
It's because his
like,
character is Tachibana.
stubborn. Yeah.
And that's it. And you're like, oh. And I knew it was gonna get old later on once we went down. We're down to this path at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
So yeah, that whole mech fight is because pretty much she wants to be praised.
Notice me, Jinguji.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is Life of the Ordinary Guy Who Reincarnated into Total Fantasy Knockout. Sorry it was short. At this point, we're just...
Oh, and Kirito slashed the beam.
Who didn't see that coming? At this point, we're just moving forward, and we can't wait to give it a review.
Next episode.
Great review.
We have The Genius Prince Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt, episode 11. And Sir Siggers is here after the cliffhanger last week, and he did nothing.
Well, of course, at the beginning.
Yes, the whole.
It was a pretty abrupt kind of thing. Like they talked about it. They're like, nope,
it's not happening.
Yeah,
your country could not take this land or whatever. A lot of political jargon.
Mm-hmm.
And that was settled for now, like, okay, whatever. Like, you will rule this day, wine for melody into our your problems with us.
Yeah, pretty much. So then,
wine goes to what was his name? Grayer, the big fat king.
Lazy dude.
Lazy.
Yeah, lazy. And yeah, it's just he's sus.
Yes.
Wayne thinks he's sus.
Oh yes, and it's very shown in this episode. Like, hey man, you know how royalty you are? That walking, just an option.
I like that the fact that he said like, walking is for like peasants. But when he talks about like, oh man, the people, I like my country to be equal, while him sitting on his damn chair. That's not equal. That's a lie.
So like you could tell like his words mean nothing.
And our MC as well as what's his name? What's her name again?
Nymph?
Yeah. They're like, oh, are we gonna get an assassin? Are we gonna,
Yeah, because Wine and Nymph had a plan going in.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we're gonna form an alliance, and that way we can have someone on our side. That way we won't get attacked.
Mm-hmm.
With like the whole thing he did with the whole trading deals and like making a fashion sense to like the other kingdoms and something like that.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. And
that's exactly what it was. It was he was just like they were thinking, oh, we're gonna form an alliance, but then they're like, oh, this guy doesn't even want to pay. He's avoiding us. So
yeah.
What the hell, man?
Why are we here?
Yeah.
I don't know why. Now here's a question I have about the show. Why did both of them instantly come up to, he's trying to kill me?
I mean,
I get it's like supposed to be like bending the laws of like reality because he's a genius and whatnot, like he knows everything, but like what kind of logical conclusion would you come up to a king just like not having time to talk to you when you're there?
Well, because
saying he's gonna get back to you, and then he's like, oh, he's gonna kill me.
yeah.
well, what I saw is like from how how I envisioned it, pretty much he's like trying to ask him something, and then he looked at him and then looks away, and then he walks away, pretty much. Like, just tell him you're busy.
Yeah, but still, like, how do you get assassination from that point?
I guess because of what the previous events of how he almost got assassinated by the T.
Yeah, but the fact that he was right was like, oh my god.
Oh yeah, but they still fell for it at the end. They believed in this guy that, oh look, he's with you know what,
he's with us.
He's with us. But at the end, of course, you know, Sir SZA.
Empty promises.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know, the king was pretty smart. He got wine in the weak points. Like, hey, you know, Nymph and their race, they're cool. I think they're awesome. And he's like, what? You think they're awesome? Then he has to be a good guy. Like, okay, all right, we could go home and we're cool, right? Like, yeah, we're cool. We're awesome. Well, he crosses his fingers and is like, no, we're not cool. I'm gonna kill you.
He's like, we're not cool, man. You're dead to me.
You're dead to me. We're gonna go to war, baby. While he eats a turkey leg, all bone.
Yeah, he chewed that whole.
Yeah, he just grabs the whole thing. I'm like, oh, this guy's actually scary.
Those teeth are made out of metal.
He's gonna eat wine.
Oh Lord.
Hey man, if anything, he's like gluttony.
Jeez.
But yeah, that was and we got more Zeno. You know, it's cool to see her all the time. Her political jargon.
He kind of got she was happy the fact that she didn't get punished hard.
Yeah, and she was smart on her own what was going on, and she reacted quicker than Wine did.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Oh, I'm glad we're on the same page, so we can keep moving forward with your plan." But you know, now that I'm in it, so that was cool. And yeah, basically this episode, a lot of time was wasted for Wine.
Mm-hmm.
Being there, and you know, Siggers being a bigger problem behind the curtain, literally.
Yes, he was behind that curtain.
And we'll see how this last episode, the all-out war between Wine's nation and Grayer's nation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll see what happens with there. We have Sabikui Bisco, episode 11.
Oh yeah, baby. I love Sabikui Bisco.
Oh,
it's a 10 out of 10.
Oh.
I'm saying it right now. It's really good.
Oh man.
Bisco just comes back.
Oh man.
I was saving that.
He's just there again.
The power of believing, bro. Power of sheer will.
He was in my heart the whole time. He heard me from beyond the grave.
Oh man. I don't know what to say about this
episode. Lord.
Can we drop the show? Like
it's too late at this point. It's too late.
No, it's not too late. It's never too late. I will save 30 minutes of time if I do not watch this episode.
It's too late, man. Let's just watch this ridiculousness.
Don't worry, man. Next week you can fight Ravi for this show.
I'm gonna fight him. I'm gonna throw down, drop the gloves. I'm gonna grab him by the shirt, and I'm gonna start poking his eyes out because he clearly needs a new set of eyes. If he sees that this show is anything but god awful in every way, I don't know what to tell him.
So yeah, Milo is Bisco for the beginning.
Yeah,
he's legit,
and then he's not,
and then he's not Bisco.
I don't know when that changed. He loves his sister.
Yes, he does. He loves his sister a lot, and
he loves Jabby.
Yeah, Jabby's cool. He heals him for a bit.
He loves Octagawa.
Oh, who don't love Octagawa? I was kind of afraid. I was scared for him.
Was the best character in the show.
Wait. That scene was so dumb. The whole the Russ moment.
Oh,
when he went underground.
Yes.
Like, how is that even possible? He literally Octagawa got a truck and like submerged it under sand.
Also, I just have a lot of questions. Again, I brought this up last week. Where are we? Why is it snowing? They were just in the desert. I actually went back to the previous episode to see if I missed like a scene with them like transitioning from deserts or snow. No, they're just in the snow. There's no transition. Where are they?
I don't know.
Now they're just back in Imihama. What's going? Why are we just teleporting? We're teleporting around.
This robot's really fast, man.
Yeah, we don't even know which way we're going. This robot's going anywhere.
But hey, we got recurring characters. You know, the kids. They're
They're almost done, and they seem to know exactly what it is.
their town is gone, and
they're running away for their lives.
Yes.
And then they just are gone.
Yeah, they get saved and they leave.
Yeah.
And we get to see those lovely ladies again from the first episode.
Yeah, and they just kind of look at us and they're like, basically the show's like, hey, did you forget about these guys? You're there for like 2 seconds. Have fun.
And then
They do nothing.
They do nothing.
Show up.
And they're like, oh damn, panda fighting?
They're still hot fighting. Wow.
Milo just being Bisco the whole episode.
Yeah,
in a way.
until he's not Bisco.
Yeah, until he's not Bisco.
Because the real Bisco, please stand up.
Yeah, so Milo gets on this guy's back, okay?
He did Titan form.
He's stabbing the rust, which shouldn't do anything.
Oh, yeah, no, that was hilarious. Oh, remember what I said?
Yeah.
Oh, look, these tanks are amazing. They're blasting it, they're taking it down. Whoa, great tanks, did nothing of damn robot, nothing. This man grabs a dagger and starts digging his back and pain.
Super effective.
Pain. Oh, dude, you're stabbing my back. And then Bisco just comes out. He's like, "Hey, man, I heard you needed some.
You called my name.
I heard you need some plot armor because this guy's too difficult. So I'm just gonna show up.
And by the way, look at my packs.
Look at my packs. They look amazing,
glistening in the dark.
I hate this show. I hate this show with burning passion. I cannot hate this show more than I do right now.
Oh god, this show.
It's probably a 1, to be honest.
We'll see how.
I don't know how it can redeem itself. Maybe a 2. Like, how could he? What? Let me guess the last.
I don't know.
Episode,
I'm getting close to Josh's score.
If I'm wrong, okay. The last episode, they're gonna defeat this thing somehow.
Yes.
Bisco's gonna come up and shoot some arrows. They're gonna magically defeat it. Okay.
Yes.
Bisco and Paolo are gonna kiss.
Of course.
Of course. And then Milo
desert
and the jellyfish
disappears.
girl are gonna reaffirm their friendship.
Yes.
Okay.
Power of friendship.
The desert
It's going to
disappears.
be a very lovely, happy ending with everyone surviving and getting shot so that the rust goes away. They're going to cure everyone.
Yes. And the rust is gone, and we live happily ever after.
And
That's the ending of the show.
And the desert's gone.
Yep.
We get nature again.
We get nature.
Yep.
A deer shows up.
A deer shows up. Yeah, that's the end of the show. I just predicted it.
Nice. Hopefully.
We'll see what happens.
Josh is probably right, man. I swear to God.
You're probably right. Maybe near
he's
the
so
show.
fucking on the point.
Yeah, because we never had issues with shows with like graphically look nice, but this time with this story is really horrible.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's so goofy. I can't believe he took a dagger, stabbed him. The guy's like,
oh. Sliced them.
But the tank's nothing though.
These armor-piercing shells. Play-Doh.
Nada. He's good. He's Gucci. One dagger.
Oh
Get
damn.
it.
That dagger has mushrooms,
Rust, penetration, obsidian shard.
It's filled with a lot of stuff. Science and doctor.
Science. Mushroomology.
Has some kind of special blade or something. I don't know.
But even when Milo shoots the bow and arrow with the mushrooms in it, it doesn't do anything.
They do
He
nothing.
literally shot him in the eye, and the guy's just like, bloop. And yet one little dagger, one normal kitchen knife is able to just muck this guy
Oh god, man.
and save Bisco from the depths of hell.
He has red
Literally,
bros.
dude, Milo, also, I don't know how people survive in the show. Milo was taking and thrown 9 million
got
meters and hit a wall at least 120 kilometers an hour. He should be putty on that wall.
He got yeeted, man. He
got yeeted so hard. Like my man should not be. He should not even have a corpse.
No, he heard his man's voice, man.
Yeah, his
home.
His lover came back alive. And he had to be awake for that.
He was like, oh, he's back.
The real Bisco's here.
He's cucking his sister, bro.
Oh God, we'll find out.
We'll see next time.
We'll find out next week. Oh God.
Remember when Milo offered his sister up to Bisco? Remember that?
Yeah.
That's good. A really good scene where he's like pimping out his sister.
I can't forget it, man.
Remember that scene?
I can't forget it, man. Very memorable. Part of the highlight.
Probably the highlight of the show.
But yeah, that was Sabikui Bisco. We'll finish it next week.
We'll finish it.
Oh, and
if anything, I feel like this show's the only one I regret the most.
This show's breaking us.
Wait, which is bad because this is the show that we thought would be the best.
No, not me.
I thought so.
It was Ravi and Omar.
It looked appealing.
Yes, it did.
After the first episode, I knew this was gonna be a garbage dumpster fire.
We have Princess Connect Redive, second season, episode 11.
That was intense.
Very intense action.
Dude, the fight scenes and everything were crazy in this episode. It was nuts, especially the Pecorine one with Jun.
Yeah, that was so good.
Perfect.
You know what's crazy too? I got tricked. I'm like, oh damn, that wasn't actually her.
Oh, Kaiser.
Yeah, Kaiser. It was literally not her. She's literally a shadow.
She used the shadow so that she could protect herself.
Yeah.
Yep.
I didn't picture that at all.
Not me either. Then just to see how freakishly strong she is.
I felt like it worked though, because think of it this way. Okay. From everything we see with Yuki, he loses to the true form of the Beast Woman, right? But this shadow was Pecorine's fight. So when Pecorine defeated that, she defeated her demon basically. Mm-hmm. But now Yuki has to defeat his demon. Yeah. So that's why I think it works good, right? Even though it was like kind of a sudden reveal.
Yeah.
You've been seeing a little bit of stuff, like two different Beast women looking at Carl and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And when she was fighting the red-haired girl, two of them show up, stuff like that. So you kind of get the feeling that there's like something else is going on. But I felt like it did well because Pecorine defeated her demon, and now Yuki has to defeat his.
I love how the motion within this animation wise, man, it's so amazing.
Oh yeah, man. It's
like that scene where the Kaiser like was like going insane in a way. Yeah. I'm like, jeez, it's great. Yeah, it's losing it.
Even like the horrible screams that Carol is doing up there when she's being controlled and forced to look at, you know, her friend getting beat up and stuff like that. It's like you sense like the defeat and the trauma on her.
I felt the pain for Pecorine when she got literally grabbed in the stomach.
Yeah, with the sharp claws.
5 holes.
5 holes. Like, Pecorine, are you okay?
She ends up beating Jen, and
she gets out of
her.
Yeah, she gets out of her hypnosis.
Yeah.
Yeah, because June found out that Pecorine was the true princess.
Yeah, I actually love that scene too because you know, Jun in the game is like such a noble character, and it must have been like horrible to find out that, you know, she's been serving the wrong person, the evil one, this whole time. And then she's like, allow me to protect you for one time at least.
Yeah. Then she got blasted.
She definitely got blasted.
She got yeeted out of there.
It's not her fault, man. She just survived a princess strike.
Yeah, you know? No, but the real villain came out of nowhere and started laying down.
Out of nowhere, it was like, all right, see ya, and then
that was way too fast. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, it's just like, all right, enough playing around. You had fun with my little shadow, but now it's the real person here, and it just mucks everyone.
It's like in a video game when you beat the boss, and it's like, that's not even my true form.
Yeah, it's like the third form, and you're like on one tick of health.
Yeah.
And you're like, I'm not ready for this. I'm gonna die.
Yeah, Yeah, that fight was insane. I really love that fight a lot. And
Christina.
Yeah, the Christina fighting the Gilder.
She's my favorite unit character.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah, man.
And that fighting scene was amazing.
She has a OP ability.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
She's very OP in the game.
The game too.
Ridiculously OP.
Like the North American right now where it's at, she's the top tier character.
She's the best for clan battles.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Like people were like, this is a little off topic of the thing, but people were like literally like spending everything and then spending all their stuff to get her to 5-star and max her out right away.
Me too.
I did that.
that.
Hey, let us know if you guys did the same thing that you play the game.
Yeah.
Because if you forgot, this is based off an app game. But yeah, that power is super powerful. Absolute defense and absolute offense. Which it took like what 5, 6 of them to defeat her.
Dude, well, the only reason they even did it, they didn't even defeat her. The only reason they did was they distracted her, and then the other girl went up and did it.
Christina fell for the old trick in the book.
Yeah. She messed up by doing a shonen trope where
Evil monologue.
The monologue, yeah.
But she's not even evil. It's the weird,
she's not
weird
evil.
thing is she's not even evil.
No?
She's just like, she's just weird and has like weird fetishes.
So that's true. Her fetish is just wanting to fight.
Yeah.
So she's like,
she just wants to fight.
She's like a shonen character.
Yeah, and they always call her that. Even when they're making fun of her, they're always like, "You bow hungry wench" or whatever.
That's funny. That is hilarious. But yeah, that fight was cool, especially with the axe girl. You know, both of them being crazy and stuff.
Because remember, I think some of them are controlled and some aren't.
Yeah.
By the.
Yeah, as you can see in the little harvest wall.
Yeah.
So that hey. And one more thing, Kokoro getting the key, meaning Amit.
Yeah,
for the first time.
Yeah, she was trusted to basically have Yuki's emotions in check.
So that makes a whole lot of sense why Kokoro was the first one to find him. In the very beginning.
Yeah, man, when you're falling from the sky.
Mm-hmm. That makes so much sense. And now that she has the key, hopefully Yuki can be on check. And I wonder how next week is gonna wrap up. Oh, and I also like the scene with the little girls when they summon their giant bird.
Oh, the bird comes back.
That was just goofy.
But hey, man,
that was just goofy.
They saved our man with the fro.
They did save him.
And Yuki.
Well, actually, Yuki saved him. Yuki was the badass in that.
Yeah, man.
Picked him up on his back and was carrying him, and he was just like,
"You're not heavy.
Not heavy. Not heavy."
So that was really cool. But yeah, this episode was just amazing, action packed, awesome.
Can't wait for the last episode.
And I expect no less from the last episode. And yeah, man, I wonder how they're gonna defeat true form Kaiser.
Yeah.
So, but hey, can't wait. We have.
Well, we're coming towards the end of these.
These two shows wrapped up, and they're pretty big. And we're starting off with My Dress Up Darling, episode 12, the final episode of this first season.
It's just a really cute finish.
It is.
After last week's really intense.
Yeah, it's very saucy.
Very saucy episode. This one was more of a wholesome thing.
Yeah, it ended similar to how what I remember from Love is War in a way.
Okay.
The festival kind of thing.
Yeah, the whole summer festival.
Yeah,
and especially like it was perfect too because you kind of could tell like with the calendar in the background. It's like it's August, the end of August, so like the end of summer. So summer festival's around the corner. And I just loved how the story was told in this episode, like with Gojo, like always seeing it, but from his house and just being by himself.
Yeah,
he kept bringing
someone to be there with.
He brought up the whole like, last year I was alone.
Yeah, like many years he was by himself.
Yeah.
Like, while making the Hina dolls, right?
Yeah.
But this year,
I just love how Gojo's like his character has grown. Like he's such a naive character still, but he's learning new things and he's sharing new experiences that he never thought he'd share in his life because he never knew anybody.
Yeah. I was
like
gonna.
all these. Sorry. You go, David.
No, I was gonna say it's crazy to know that this episode was not even focused on like romance wise. It was more like him appreciating having someone to be with,
Yeah.
Yeah, which I think a lot of people would want.
Yeah,
just like someone to do stuff.
like from the start to beginning. I like how it all ended towards the end.
No, yeah,
With, Gojo.
especially Kitagawa and her Yakuta, man. She looked amazing.
Yeah. She's like, "Do you like the nape of the neck?" He's like, and then she gets her in her monologue. She's like, "Are you serious? You kidding me? This is really what he likes? This is what he's into?" So I'll be showing him the whole time then. And then it just has that fight where he's trying to look away and she's just getting in front of him.
Showing that nape. That was funny. It's still has cute moments in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's just.
We also found out that Marine is a magazine model.
Yeah, she's a model.
Holy moly, you're a celebrity.
Hey, mama need that money, bro. Mama need that new camera.
Mama need that cash.
I think my favorite part is when they ended up watching horror films.
Oh yeah,
Because I thought Gojo was going to be terrified.
She's scared.
Yeah.
And he's just sitting there like, wow, I love the VFX on that.
I love
She's
that.
like, he's like, I'm gonna rewind it, and she's like, what?
like
Yes.
look at that costume detail.
Yeah, so we get like references to Scream and then also Chainsaw Massacre.
I love in this anime how they actually show what they're looking at. Like they actually show the manga or the anime, and they animate it.
Yeah, no,
And it's
yeah.
really cool how they show like anime within anime.
And that's pretty much the final scene of Chainsaw Massacre with that lady.
Yeah, with like she's spinning around the chainsaw. But yeah, like Josh said, I really love that too because it's just up to our imagination to see what they're watching, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time in most animes, but this one's like, this is what they're watching. This is what.
Yeah, and
the
it's
reaction.
usually really well animated. And it's like
Yeah.
it's just really
It's not, sometimes
a
it's
lot of care put into this anime.
It improves the experience. It's like you're watching it with them.
exactly
Yeah.
which this show does super well. But yeah, I want to go back to the festival, like when Gojo finally sees the fireworks up in person. And first off, this plaza, their fireworks show, fantastic.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's so baller, dude. That's like not even like if you go to Disneyland fireworks. Like that's way better than that. But yeah, amazing show, and just I love like the lighting effects in this scene, like just seeing them, and especially when like at one point Gojo's not even looking at the fireworks, he's looking at Marine, and
Yeah, and then they just lock eyes.
yeah.
And you see, it gets you. It got you in the scene. I thought they were gonna kiss or hug or something, and then she just sticks her tongue and shows the blue. It's like, nah. I'm like, what?
It's so cute. It's so that character,
They like spending time with each other.
Yeah, which they, at the very end after the credits, by the way, beautiful ending. Credits, gotta give props to that.
Yeah.
Very wholesome ending wrap up of like she's too scared to sleep because she watched the sequel to the movie we saw.
Yeah, and it was just really cute how that she was like, "Oh, talk to me all night, even if you're tired," and then he falls asleep on her.
Yeah.
And she says it, but he obviously didn't hear because he's asleep. But she said it to him, so.
But like it's just a sweet wrap up to the whole show because they wrap it up themselves. Like the summer vacation was awesome with you.
Yeah.
And which
Next time.
I think that's the best part. Like even like Kitagawa was like, "Oh, I'm sorry about my foot. Like I'm tired. You have to carry me, but hopefully next time, it'll be better." Which that like just like Gojo, it made me teary. It made me water because there will be a next time. There will be a future.
That's what I like about these two shows that we're gonna talk about in general. This show too, where we don't have to be like, oh look, a big old cliffhanger, or it doesn't have to be like, oh, is she gonna or something.
Yeah.
You get me? It was like, you know, it was a short and sweet kind of thing.
Yeah, it was just this whole show is just sweet. Like, people could argue a bunch of things about, you know, how it has tropes and stuff like that. And if you don't like tropes, then, you know, that's up to you. But I think that this show is just very...
I have a feeling everything has a trope. There's no there's no originality at this point. Everything has to have something, you know? I don't think anything's new.
But, you know, some people, you know, don't like the romance genre or something like that. But I'd say give it a shot, because it really is. There's so much care put in this anime. Like, really, every scene, you know, every mention of cosplay and stuff like that, it works, and it is a very realistic depiction of a romance.
Yeah,
and that's why I'm really, you know, invested in this, because it doesn't feel like it's moving too slow, and it doesn't feel like it's moving too fast. It just feels like it's right in that middle part.
Let's get to the review.
But yeah, that was basically episode 12, and that wraps up that first season. And hopefully we get a second season announced. We're still waiting on that. But with that being said, we have our review of My Dress Up Darling. And who wants to go first?
Well, you already know the usual. It's gonna be you, me, and then Josh.
Okay, I just want to know. So I'll make my peace with it. My Dress Up Darling is it was very anticipated. I remember that it was being one of the top 5 animes of this season. If anything, this being one of the originals, well, the new shows, it saved the season, like hands down, from not being a carryover or anything, or a second season. Maureen and Gojo are just fantastic characters to experience this love, and the love of their hobbies, just them accepting it for what it is and supporting each other, and just their relationship is so real that at many points I was jealous of Gojo. I was like, man, I wish that was me. Or it reminded me of many times when I was in high school, or like my past life, moments like that, like it really like rekindled with me, especially like the last episode, like staying up all night talking to the person you like. So that I've genuinely never felt like, yes, like you guys brought up, there is tropes, and some tropes we like, some tropes we don't, but with this show it does something different than all the other romance comps, and it's just the realism, the rate of connecting with the characters is just so real. And Kitagawa will definitely be best girl of the year, and if she's not, I'm rioting. That is she hands down set the highest bar for this year, 2022, if anything. But yeah, Gojo too. He's a great catch too. He's a tall guy, and shy, and these beautiful people deserve each other. That's all I gotta say. It's hilarious. It's informative about their hobbies, especially Gojo's hobby, which was never brought on the horizon until this show came out. And yeah, man, just overall, my rating of this show, I couldn't believe it, but just how I felt and how I feel, I give it a 10 out of 10, honestly. This show, it does something different than all the rom-coms that I've seen. And like, even the ones I like, Horimiya, Call Me comes to mind. And just, I love these characters. I love the romance between them. So yeah, that's my rating. My second 10 out of 10 of this podcast. And I can't wait for second season. It better come. So that being said, David?
Yeah, for me in general, well, like what Omar said earlier, the whole the realism, like I like that. I really enjoy that, especially from coming from Horimiya, because Horimiya had that realistic tone to it at times. The relationship felt real, and with this show in particular, did the same thing. I had I really cared for these two characters. There was no like relationship with any other character, and that's what I like. It had that focus between one-on-one kind of thing with them too, but at the same time too, it's like they felt like each other's friends.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that about this show.
Like, if anything,
And their struggles and their weaknesses, their passions. It had a whole mix of had a mixture of different things, but I really enjoyed. I like how all of this all mixed up together. It had the comedic moments, had adorable moments. It had you see their pain and you felt it, you know. So I really, throughout this whole show, I had no episode that I'm like, damn, this is kind of boring, or damn, you know. I really enjoyed this series, and can't wait for more in general. And yeah, so far I guess some of these rom-coms are really good for.
yeah, I think the recent rom-coms have been really good.
Yeah.
So.
And we're getting more next season. So.
Yeah, next season is really rom-com season.
Yeah. The shows we really enjoy, and this is one of them. This is one of my top ones now. So I'm also give it a 10.
Oh damn! I didn't see that coming. All right, Josh.
Yeah, so for me, I agree with these guys. This show was a huge surprise for me because like I never read the manga or anything, and I haven't had a lot of high hopes for rom-coms because they're a dime a dozen in anime and seasonal anime specifically. But this one was special. When I saw the first episode, I saw good characterization. I saw that they put a lot of time and effort into the animation. I just knew right away. I was like, this show is going to be special because of the amount of effort that was put into making it as quality as possible. They really threw all their eggs into this basket, honestly. I think Gojo is a phenomenal MC. I think that he perfectly exemplifies the awkwardness of a teenager, of a nerdy teenager who has a niche hobby, who isn't, super good with social scenarios, who isn't good with girls and stuff like that. He shows that, that people are not always what they seem with Marine, right? He, in the first episode, he looks at her and he's like, she's way out my league, like she's in a whole other universe. Even he says that, but he finds out that she's nerdy in a different way, and then because of their two niche hobbies, they're able to find common ground and help each other. And that's what it starts off with in the beginning. It's just like a push and pull relationship where they're helping each other. Marine giving him comfort and talking to him and giving him social, practice basically.
Yeah.
And him helping her with her outfits and realizing what she loves to do, which is cosplay and become the characters that she wants to be. And I think that stays as the whole relationship. Marine slowly develops feelings for Gojo throughout the show because of how just gentle and kind and nice he is, and how he's like such a kind soul, which is often like you don't see that super often in anime. It's very realistic how they portray this relationship through various little text messages. They'll actually show you the text messages. They'll show them watching movies or anime together. They'll show them going to the mall, stuff like that. It's none of this like super crazy, oh, I'm gonna fall and it's like not some crazy thing that some rom-coms like to do. They like to get really stupid with their plot points and stuff like that, and it takes you out of the immersion. But every plot point is grounded, and even like stuff like the fan service is relatively grounded. It's not like something crazy where the dude's like falling from the other side and lands his face into her boobs or something like that. Like, it's not some ecchi weird nonsense like that. It's actually like you see inside of Gojo's mind at what he's thinking as a young teenager. You see the tissues next to his bed. You see him act when he reacts in those situations where he's attracted to Murray and stuff like that. And like I said, again, it's just very well done. They knew what they were going for. They knew how to achieve it. The romance is peak. It's one of the best romances I've seen in a long time. The actual cosplay portion is also really well done. So many attention to detail things, even showing Gojo's notes where he's talking about like dress sizing and adding this, how to add frills and sewing and stuff like that, all the way up to what type of cameras they use, the lighting, the atmosphere, the staging, all these props that they use, makeup, stuff like. It's just so much here to consume about what makes a good quality cosplay. And then it goes into depth about like, who can I cosplay as? What do I look like? You know, like, how can I turn myself into the character? Am I a good fit for this? And I'll maintain it shows a really positive outlook of the cosplay community, like, for doing what you love and for, you know, having fun with it. You know, you don't have to be, you know, the perfect body shape to cosplay your favorite character or stuff like that. So I think someone could watch this even if they ignored the romance and still get value out of it because of, you know, how much this show teaches you about the community. And, you know, I just think it's really well done. All in all, every interaction is adorable. Every shot, every like face that the characters make is really adorable. And like, I just think it's a really, really solid romance and really solid educational material for cosplay as well. So I give it an 8 out of 10. I think that it was really one of the best romances I've seen in a long time, especially from seasonal anime.
Yeah.
What again? What
8 out of 10.
8 out of 10? Okay.
Yeah. All right. That's basically high ratings around here. Would love to know Robbie's, but he'll probably put it in later.
Yeah, we'll put it right now.
What's up, guys? Robbie here, and as you guys know, I am not in for the original recording, like I stated previously, with the Ousama ranking review or forward. Kind of forget which order this is going in. But yeah, I'm here to give you guys my thoughts and opinions on My Dress Up Darling now that the series is over. I guess starting with episode 12. It's a beautiful episode as usual. You know, we got our boy Gojo and our girl Marin doing their summer homework. Watch a horror movie, you know, kind of all that cute, adorable stuff. And of course, the highlight of the episode. Actually, two highlights I want to say. It's the speech, the Marin speech, and kind of like how she enjoys fun even though she can't swim. You know, that was kind of like a neat little kind of thing. How she explains away. She's like, you know, even though I can't swim, you know, I want to like go out places. I want to do stuff, and despite these hindrances. But of course, the big highlight was, of course, the festival. Like, that was absolutely adorable. Seeing Marin or Yukata and like the nape neck. Oh god, it was so adorable. She was like, I'm gonna show it off now. I'm so hyped. And then the fireworks, you know, with Gojo like reacting to it, and his perspective was just absolutely great. And oh my gosh, the last couple minutes, I'll say this, I was kind of upset that we didn't get to see like any kind of confirmation of a season 2. I was really crossing my fingers that we'd be getting some kind of like banner or whatever that say season 2's coming. But alas, you know, we don't have that as of this recording. But just that scene was just absolutely beautifully done, with Gojo drifting asleep and Marin, you know, saying I love you after he fell asleep. It was just touching. But yeah, that was episode 12. Great, fantastic conclusion to this season. You know, can't wait for when season 2 drops in. But until then, we gotta play the waiting game. And with that, I'm gonna give you guys my honest opinion and my thoughts and review for this series as a whole. What can I say, man? Like, just from the trailer, when the trailer dropped a couple months prior to the series premiere, I was just absolutely hooked. The animation, the design, like everything in general was just absolutely it just nailed it. Like, this is the anime that just absolutely nailed the look and feel of kind of what they were going for. And just like the dynamic between Gojo and Marin was just phenomenal. Like, I love that we got to see this perspective where we have a female otaku who is a gyaru be super into what she enjoys, and then you have the male MC Gojo, who is really into Hina dolls and just kind of them interconnecting and just bonding and just everything in general is just absolutely fantastically done. It was very much the perfect slice of life that I haven't seen in a long time. Like but before, I mean, you guys can say as you will or whatever, but up until recently, my top standard for in terms of a slice of life anime was a show called Golden Time. Like, I loved Golden Time back when that came out back in 2013, which at this point isn't really recent. But man, My Dress Up Darling, it got me hooked. Like, it's definitely one of those anime that I can kind of like think back on very, very fondly for a long time, and I can definitely see why a lot of the manga readers were very, very much looking forward to this anime being produced. And thank God that the animation team behind this show was just, they were, like I said, they were on point with everything. But yeah, that being said, I do have to give my review, and no less, I have to give this show a 10 out of 10. This is the same instance with Ousama ranking, where like I can't think of an episode where I was like, man, we didn't need this. Like, this was so well done, and the fact that we got to have 2 10 out of 10 shows in the same season is just, it blows my mind. And to think this is what many would consider one of the weaker seasons. And yet here we are, 2 10 out of 10 shows. It's brilliant. Again, can't wait for that second season, or whenever we inevitably get My Dress Up Darling season 2. But until then, we're gonna have to wait, and God forbid, I might end up reading the head on the manga, but we'll see. Fantastic though.
All right, and now we got everyone's review. I'm sad to say that My Dress Up Darling will not be here next week, but the show must go on, and hopefully, cross my fingers, second season gets announced. But if not, it was a great ride, honestly. We have Ranking of Kings, aka Ousama Ranking, episode 23, also the finale of this season as well.
And it's pretty much an epilogue.
Yes, pretty much so. It's basically what the show finally was doing, right? Like Boji trying to become king, like throughout the struggles that he had to go through, and that he's finally there. He made it. And it's so like heartwarming to like, yes, we've been in this struggle, right? We've been through Boji's journey with Kage, and now that Daida is gonna marry Miranjo, he sees that Boji's fitted to become king, and everyone accepts it, and it's probably like most like heartwarming, like, yes,
after all that struggle and
yeah, exactly.
And especially that moment too, that I guess when that they've figured out that, hey, he's been listening to everyone in general.
Yeah, he can lip read
to like everyone, so that they felt the pain, like, damn.
Yeah, I think Tomas picked it up. He was
yeah.
Like, oh damn! Like, so he heard the people throughout the kingdom talking crap about him when he was in the beginning of the show. So he felt even more pain for him.
Yeah,
and that's it's amazing. It's like,
how much he suffered.
Yeah.
We witnessed the suffering throughout the whole ride in general.
So yeah, that Boji becoming king was like probably the best thing ever. But with that, it came with a prize. With Kage did what he believed was like
the right thing.
The right thing to do.
He didn't feel worthy.
Yeah.
To sit there.
He didn't think he could become the right hand man for a king. So he decided to go back on his own and just survive like he did before he met Boji.
Yeah, but the right way.
Yes, instead of stealing.
Yeah.
Find a job and live.
But what happened, people still don't like
Exactly.
the shadow.
His
Shadow clan.
his people and his reputation is not living.
Even though their clan is completely gone, that legend is still there.
And it's sad to see with Kage, but like he doesn't
let it himself down
until like.
But you still feel it. You're like, no, dude, come on, man.
Yeah, hey, even at the end, like he still broke down. It's like, damn, man, like I'm trying to be positive. I'm trying to do the right thing, but.
Yeah, to a point where he made his little house, and then it's so sad when it's all destroyed. I'm like, damn.
Yeah.
Still trying to be positive though.
Yeah.
Yeah, just still trying to be positive, and it sucks. But on the same side, Boji becoming king, thinking that that's what he wanted, it turns out not to be the best.
Well, he did want it, but at the same time, he realized that, hey, the person that was on my back is not here.
Yeah.
Like at first he was okay with Kage not being there, but now he realized like, hey, the guy that helped me is no longer here, and I'm upset, you know? He lost a friend.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah, he lost his best friend.
Yeah.
And I kind of relate to that too, because there's many times where like it's gonna sound very cheesy, but like the journey to the goal is always worth more than the goal. And then once you get to the goal, what's next, right? Like what do you do after that? And I think that's what Boji felt like. He was like, I'm king now. I have these responsibilities, but is this what I want to do for the rest of my life?
Yeah, because from how we saw it, like at first he didn't accept it, but then he accepted it when he actually wore the crown.
Yes, he wore the big crown.
And then he felt like, I guess this is not working out for me.
Yeah.
And it's you could see his pain. Even the queen's like, hey man, don't be sad in front of the the kingdom. You know, you're the king now.
Yeah, you sad, the whole room's sad.
Yeah.
Like we're getting worried about you.
And then that's when she said about the Kage, where's your friend?
Yeah. Hey, Queen Helen gives some good advice.
Yeah.
Some very powerful advice. And I like that bit of him, him being the shadowy figure. Kept on tab on Kage, like, yo, he's gone, no one noticed, but I'm gonna keep a tab on him. And it worked out. It worked out because we got that epilogue, well, how you said it. Boji resigns himself being king.
Well, no, he didn't resign himself as a king. He said he's gonna build his own kingdom.
No, that's what I was gonna say. Well, he gave back the kingdom to Daida.
Yeah,
and then he has a new goal to have a new kingdom, be the king for that.
Yeah,
but with Kage, which is very noble. It's a long process to that, but hey,
and that's their journey.
Yeah, the new journey begins.
I love the fact that the outro, the ending for the song is pretty much the ending of the show itself.
Basically, right?
Yeah,
because they talk about like how them to each other they're like the sun, and like even at the ending you see Boji becoming the light for Kage. So it's very, very heartwarming. It's very cool, and I think it's a solid ending. Oh yeah, one more thing. King Bo returns from his big nap, and literally frees Oken like a mad lad.
Yeah, he was going insane.
Yeah, but he wanted that run back, bro.
He wanted that run back
because he didn't. He made him look like a fool. And now he yeeted that Oken's head to.
You know what I have a feeling though? The Oken head thing. I feel like Boji's gonna end up finding it in the future.
Oh, you think there'll be another rematch?
No, just his head.
Oh,
he's gonna be talking to the head of Oken. That's what I think. I don't know. I'm thinking of it too much, but how funny would that be though? The journey with him and Kage and Oken.
I don't know. I don't picture it. That would be weird. And
yeah, I'm curious.
What about his body?
Yeah, I'm curious what's gonna happen to his body.
He becomes the headless warrior.
Who knows?
But yeah, like you said, like perfectly epiloguing. There's a lot of stuff that are left out, unsolved. But hopefully, when season 2 comes around, which it's been confirmed it's going to be a while. We get that solved. And with that wraps up episode 23, the final episode, and we go over to our review of Ranking of Kings. And same format. I will go first. God, Ranking of Kings. This is another show which I under the radar didn't expect it. David suggested it.
Yeah,
fell in love with it within the first 2 episodes. Just the fact that both Ouji and Kage they're the underdog of the story. They're like, you've seen them, their backstory, tragic. Both stories, like everyone has a tragic story, honestly, if you really think about it. Like the tragedy of everyone, bad or good. You know, what makes you, what do you do after that? I feel like, and we get to see Boji's journey and him becoming a better warrior. And there was a lot of bumps on the way with, particular Domas pushing him, or no one believing in Boji, and him struggling, fighting with Oken. Like, Boji is not a perfect character, but I feel like throughout this whole journey, he will become a perfect king. It's just going to be tough. It's going to be a long journey. Same thing with Kage. I feel like he doesn't give himself much respect to himself. And hopefully... And like, just the side, every character I have no problem with now. I know it's hard to believe. I hated Domas, but hey, I love his whole character changed around for me. And many characters like that are like that in this show. Like, it's like what we said prior, like, there is no bad guy in the show. Like, it's just, bad people could do good things and good people could do bad things. And I've never seen a show like that does it well, to give, humility to each character. The animation, next, extraordinary, especially when it comes to the fights and just little moments in the show is just spectacular. Like one fight particularly, just a small fight with Appease and Bebin, just that whole fight like still sticks out to me. And like the same thing with Boji catching the lightning from Desha, and I'm just like, Jesus Christ, that looks amazing. Yeah, man, this show there are some scenes I just won't forget, and I'm thankful for Ranking Kings doing that. Characters are just spectacular. Everyone has a backstory, which reasons of their actions. So it gives everyone a purpose. And there wasn't a single episode where I was like, man, this episode kind of blowed. It was every episode had a meaning. Every episode had a purpose. So I think it was well paced. And yeah, man, I can't wait for more. I know it's going to be a long time, but what we got was just amazing. With Studios, you did a great job. And with that being said, my rating is going to be a 9 out of 10. I want to give it 10 out of 10, but I feel like 9 out of 10 is good. Yeah. There's so much I want to say, but I know you guys have a lot to say. So 9 out of 10 for me. Tough.
Yeah, for me, I think the story in general, the thing that really impresses me, the characterization of all these characters. It's so difficult to have so many characters and feel for them, Like, in general, there is no show that I've seen recently where I cared about any other character, secondary characters, background characters, in general. In a way, there's a connection with these with these characters. I know there's little hiccups, but it's really difficult to deal with a big cast. Mm-hmm. And I'm amazed at how much they did for only 23 episodes.
Yeah.
I was like, geez, imagine if it was 12 episodes and that was it, then geez, that would have been bad. But they nailed these characters. I hated a lot of characters. I finally understand them, and I get the reasons why they did what they did. Boji, really, I really enjoyed his journey throughout the whole entirety of the show. Kage, the secondary main character in a way, you saw his struggle, but he manages to come back up, and I really like that about him. And the rest of the cast, I could go on and on about the characters, but this show does it perfectly to know what happens, or what was their reasoning. Animation was amazing. I like it. The style design, I really enjoyed it, even though it wasn't our generic anime style. This is really like, it's different, and I really enjoyed that about it. The music was amazing throughout the whole show. It kept me connected to the world. What else? Fights, of course, amazing. Wit Studios is really impressive when it comes to fighting and their animations. And I think this show made me tear up more than To Your Eternity.
I was gonna say that.
Yeah. This show in particular, I was really impressed, and I'm glad I found this show. And I'm gonna end up giving it a 10 out of 10.
Nice, damn. 2 10 out of 10s?
Yeah, man, both shows were amazing.
Hey, man, I don't blame you.
These shows, they really hit. They had, laughter. They had comedy. Comedy and laughter are the same, but they had sadness. You felt their pain, and that's why I liked it.
All right, Josh.
So I want to preface this by saying that this is not a bad show, and that clearly these two guys love it, so there's a lot to love here. I will be pointing out why I am not giving this show a 9 out of 10 when I thought I would from the first 11 or 12 episodes. So the first half happens. We know how good it is. We praised it so many times on this podcast. If you want to know our thoughts, go watch that segment from our first 11 episodes covering it. It's great. Honestly, those first 11 episodes are awesome. Great mystery, great characterization. Everything is has an air of darkness surrounding it. You don't really know who's pulling the strings, and everything is very, very lucid. And it's really great storytelling, because you're constantly I can't wait to watch the next episode, find out what happens. I can't wait to see what's going to happen to Boji and stuff like that. I think Boji's character is really well exemplified. He's an underdog, and he's slowly rising to the top. He starts training with Despa, and that's where the first problem I have with the show happens. I think that the training arc could have been a little longer. I think it fit okay. It wasn't too bad. I didn't have any problems with it when I originally watched it. But looking back on it now, I wish it was maybe a little bit longer, because he seems to get very, very overpowered within a very short amount of time. I'm talking an episode or two, and suddenly he's the strongest. And I didn't have a problem with it when it happened, but as the show went on, I started to have more of a problem with it, because the show it's going up really high on the mountain. It's climbing Mount Everest, and then it just dips. And it's like you're coming back down the base camp. It's our expectations, or my expectations, were so high for it going in there that I was just disappointed. And it doesn't mean this show's bad. It just means that it did not keep the same quality as it did for the first 11 episodes. And the major dip in quality is that it simply just became more predictable over time. I completely understand how they had to finish it off. They had to establish a bad guy, and they had to establish, motives and stuff like that. But I feel like this show wanted to have a happy ending really badly, when I would have been more impressed if they didn't have a happy ending, because the show, the way it was presented in the first part, was leading up to that with this air of mystery and stuff like that. More people are behind the strings. I think that the point where I started to get uninvested from it was the Oaken fight, and because it dragged on for a long time, and I understand that it's supposed to drag on for a long time. He's immortal, of course it's gonna drag on. He can't die. But I feel like, you know, when Boji started just meeting up with everyone and everyone abandoned their morals that made them good, complex characters and just sided with Boji. Peace, for example, being the biggest one of this, where he fights for Miranjo the entire time, and he's like pulling all these horrible strings, and, you know, influences all these awful things happen in the kingdom. He just sees Boji and is like, oh, Boji, I'm on your side now. Like, there's no real like build up to that. He just is on his side, and that's why I'm like, okay, like we're rushing the ending. Like we're rushing the conclusion here. Like I said, the Oaken fight was okay, but it just was like people coming in and fighting him and losing, people fighting him and losing, people fighting him and losing, people fighting him and losing for like 3 episodes, and then Bose comes out of nowhere and beats him in one shot. And it was really anticlimactic when he just scrunched him up and put him in a rock. Like, it made sense because that's the most logical thing you do, but it was very anticlimactic when you have this villain character who you built up for 3 episodes as I thought that Oaken was going to be the final boss, because I thought that this was going to continue on with having the mysterious, like, who's pulling the strings type of deal with the devil and Miranjo and stuff like that. But then afterwards, it just continues on with Miranjo being the worst person alive, basically. Killed everyone, committed genocide, and, you know, you could argue that she's a tragic character because of her backstory, but it does not excuse the horrible things she did. And her getting a second chance instead of Oaken, who literally is possessed by something and cannot control what he's doing, was a real blow to the story, in my opinion, because Miranjo deserved to get everything she got. Like, she was a horrible person. And, you know, this whole theme of forgiveness is prevalent, but it doesn't make sense for someone like her. I think the story would have been a lot better if they let her serve her punishment with the devil instead of, you know, die to being like, I'm gonna marry you. It's like, it just seems like a bit of a goofy ending for something that was pretty solid up until that point. Like, there's a few flaws and it starts going downhill, but it could have redeemed itself. And even if, like I said, if you go back to the podcast where I was talking about before that episode, I was really saying, you know what, it's not as bad as I thought it was. Maybe I was being too harsh on it, stuff like that. So yeah, it was predictable. It was a predictable end for something that started off so unique and so, like, awesome. And like I said in the beginning of this is by no means like me saying that the show is awful. It's just disappointing for me because it was rated, you know, I was going into the show after episode 11 thinking this is a 9 out of 10, this is a fantastic show. Then it went downhill. But sometimes shows do that, and it doesn't mean that the show, you shouldn't watch it. As you can see, Omar and David both love the show with a passion. They love every second of it and stuff like that. This is my opinion. This is what I think as someone who analyzes the shows and is the most critical of the podcast. But I want to hear what you guys think about it, because I know there is a big gap in it. A lot of people think like me and think the show went down. A lot of people think like Omar and David and think the show only went up and up for the whole time. So personally, I'm giving the show a 6 out of 10. But that's my personal opinion. And I really, if you guys are listening to this, I want you guys to tell me what your thoughts about it. I want to hear your opinions if you think that I'm spitting facts or if you think I'm crazy.
Yeah, like either we're right or you're wrong.
Yeah.
give us your guys' thought, what you guys thought of the show itself.
Yeah, or
on both shows.
Both have, you know, we both are saying ideas that can be seen both ways.
I think that's the great thing. Like I already said, the great thing about the podcast is like so many different minds that are talking, and we all have different opinions about it. You know, and this scenario, me and Dave are very similar, and Josh is the black sheep. But I like Josh's opinion, how he pointed out stuff like that, and I hopefully with the clever writing they've been doing, it picks up for you, and they address that issues, especially with Miranjo. You have a point. I've said that in the episode as well. With they're just gonna forgive her like that. I don't think everyone's gonna forgive her. They'll probably bring.
I feel like Miranjo is a very controversial figure. I'll say that, because some people agree, like with you guys, like everyone deserves forgiveness, you know.
Yeah, no, but Omar was bringing up that maybe next season they're gonna make Miranjo, like when she comes in publicly in the kingdom, like, oh look, is that lady that murdered a bunch of people?
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
and you know, I think Dave, that would be a really good characterization. They showed that even though she was forgiven by a certain amount of people, she's still, you know, labeled as this horrible, evil witch villain.
Right, Omar? Or was
no. You're on the point.
Yeah.
That's basically what I meant. Yeah, because that is a good point. That is a good point. Like, you know, it's easy to forgive somebody, but not everyone forgives everybody that easily. You have to earn it, especially like.
Mm-hmm.
I think I remember an episode particular where Boji doesn't forgive Domas right off the bat when he forgives him. I would love to know Robbie's.
Put it right now.
What's up, guys? Robbie here, and today, unfortunately, I couldn't make it to the main recording of the podcast. However, this does not mean that I can't give you guys my honest opinion and review for Ousama ranking, because, you know, man, oh man, I gotta put it out there. So Ousama ranking episode 23 was fantastic. It was a very, very, very much a nice episode, a nice conclusion to kind of like wrap things up. You know, despite the whole Daida Miranjo thing, you know, I personally don't mind it. I wasn't able to get my piece on it since I've been absent from the recording the past couple weeks, but I think the Daida Miranjo, it was just a sign of moving forward, and I think I like that a lot. I think it's a good tool to kind of utilize, and I think it works great. But that being said, regarding Boji, I think it couldn't have been handled any better. I really enjoyed the fact that everyone acknowledged Boji, and, you know, everyone acknowledged her heroism, but above all else, Boji's still Boji, and I think that in and of itself says a lot. You know, he never lost his true self. You know, he was given the kingdom due to his heroism, and, you know, Daida realized this as well. But despite this, man, it's just a fun episode in general. Like the whole thing when Kage got to me, when he said like, oh, you don't need me anymore, Boji, you know, you made it up there, I can make it myself, you know, my outlook of life is completely different. But oh man, there's so many scenes in this episode that really got me emotional, really, like, you know, it was a tearjerker for sure. But overall, like, it's had such a positive message. The only thing, of course, that was a little bit weird was the fact that Kingbo, of course, we've seen, you know, several episodes ago, he didn't obviously die. He came back, and, you know, he did what he did. He was, you know, basically planning on doing. He freed Oken from the rock. And that became an issue, but little did, to everyone's surprise, he cut off his head, threw it, chucked it all the way across, and right when Oken's main body was about to reattach his head, he cut off that part, and yeah, his head is now landed on a lake and eaten by a fish. That's that kind of sucks. But that being said, you know, that obviously kind of opens up more adventures and more possibilities within, you know, Ousama ranking. Obviously, not everything is over. There's still a lot to be explored between Kingbo, you know, his dad, and Oken, of course. There's a lot of other things to kind of explore into. But yeah, just the whole thing with Kage leaving, you know, of course, you know, Bebi obviously saw kind of what was going on, and, you know, he wasn't gonna, like, you know, like, it was obvious that he was gonna find Kage, despite Kage being like the shadow clan. I mean, he was the only one that even realized it in the first place, so that was a cool cool throwback, and yeah, it was just handled so well. And like when Boji, like obviously he wasn't himself when Kage was gone. Like, man, it really got to me. Anyway, I've been repeating myself. I could talk about this on repeat for hours, but obviously to kind of sum up my thoughts and opinions on this whole show, it is phenomenal. It is absolutely fantastic. Great characters, fantastic story. The art style, like a lot of people might complain, it's like, oh, I can't get into this, because of the art style. But honestly, just press through it. It all makes sense. It is fantastic. I love the message. I love everything. Like even characters that I thought I would, grow to hate, like even they all get redemptions. Like it's so well done. Absolutely cannot recommend this show enough. Yeah, going on to my review, I was kind of thinking about kind of what rank to give this, but I know despite all the joking, despite everything that has been going on, I have to come out and say it. This show absolutely earns a 10 out of 10 for me. No joke. I don't know what the others are going to give. I am recording this one day before the others have seen Ousama ranking and given their actual review. But I gotta say it's 10 out of 10 for me. Everything about this show had zero pause on its quality. Every single episode felt cohesive. It felt like it worked. And despite, like, again, like Josh's criticism between like the Oken fight and everything like that, it makes sense. And a foe like Oken makes sense given everything that's gone on, and it's just beautiful. This show is honestly not any short of a masterpiece, and I 110% recommend this show. Fantastic job on Wit Studio, fantastic job on the manga author, which from what I heard, this manga actually wasn't very popular on release. And I honestly hope that this anime changed that. And honestly, I cannot wait for season 2. If we don't get a season 2, I'm not going to be that upset at all, but I definitely have my expectations above the heavens. For sure. 10 out of 10. Can't wait.
But yeah, that is the reviews, and obviously we're very different sides of the coin. But hey, I respect it. Yeah, man. If anything, Ranking Kings shows that with clever writing and great animation.
One thing that I guess we could all say that it makes us talk about the show.
This was the most talked show in our podcast.
Of course, this show is a great talking point for anything, whether you like it or you don't like it. It definitely is one of the most interesting shows of the year, and I think it will stay like that.
Yeah. So I think with confidently I could say, if you haven't seen this show, watch this damn show.
Yeah, and
I don't know why you
didn't give it a super high rating. I'd say watch it. It's an experience that you will want to have.
Yes, break out the norms of season 9
and get people to watch this show.
Yes, I think hopefully, if anything, what I want to see of this show is get a rise of popularity like Jujutsu Kaisen did, and just I hear it by a random guy in the street. That will make my day.
And I talked a lot about the story, but one thing we all agree on 100% is the animation's amazing. And if you're put off by the animation of the show, don't be. Yeah. Just watch it, because it really is not what you think it is. You'll think that it looks like a little kid show, but it's really not. And there's lots of scenes that are really beautifully animated, and I think that we can all agree that this show gets a 10 out of 10 for animation.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Just one more thing.
One last thing. For being a simple design, they have very horrific scenes. Like right off the bat, I think of the devil on his like when they're in purgatory, or like the scene with Gigan's backstory with the kid. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, that's scarred in my brain. Yeah,
but yeah, that's it.
That's it for now for the show. We'll see what happens.
Yes, we'll see when it comes back. I wouldn't hold my breath for a year or two, but hey, if it comes back, I welcome it with open arms.
Same studio, hopefully.
Yeah, same studio, please. Love of God would keep it.
Yeah.
But yes, that'll be it for Ranking the Kings. It breaks my heart to say that. And with that, that wraps up the podcast. I mean, that wraps up the main podcast.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, we transition to the mini. And welcome back for the rest of the minis of this week. I think these are basically wrapped up at this point. All the minis of the leftovers is over. Our final episode to review, and like always, we have timestamps for your favorite mini episode show. The only one that's not done is Attack on Titan. That will be next week. Start with Rent a Girlfriend, episode 12, the final episode of the first season, and it's basically left off where Chizuru and Mami are on their quote unquote date at the karaoke, but lo and behold, our MC is also there, Kazuya. What?
Well, because he works there.
Of course.
What a small world, right?
It's a small world after all. And but he was gonna confess his feelings to Ruka, give it an actual attempted shot.
An actual date, yeah.
But once he saw Chizuru Mami, he said, "Ruka, get the hell out of my face."
That was pretty messed up, man.
It was honestly.
No, don't get me wrong. I like Ruka, but I see the reason why he goes after Chizuru, but you don't have to do her dirty that way.
Yeah,
I like Chizuru too, but I'm like, jeez, man.
Ruka does not deserve this.
Yeah,
she deserves better. But hey, this is the world we live in, where Kazuya's just stuck with whatever girl he has his mind that month.
that's how it feels.
That's how it legit feels. But yeah, basically we at the karaoke where Chizuru and Mami are talking, and they're basically like,
feels like an interrogation.
Most definitely a very
like, why am I doing this, Chizuru? Why am I doing this? Why do you want me to sing?
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa, what's happening?
I was like, I don't need your money, Mommy. Like, I'm not a real good girlfriend right now.
But you need it.
Because they're obviously amazing.
Keep it.
It's like girl talk, man. And just the whole time, like, they're like, arguing with each other.
And of course, our MC over here is, stalker syndrome.
Stalker mode activate.
Yeah.
You're just dropping on what's going on. Because, Kazuya and Chizuru are on the same boat, quote unquote, of their grandmas.
Yeah, and the thing I hate about the episode, well, in like the series in general, but the episode in general is like, it's not Chizuru's fault. It's more of his fault.
It has been
always been his fault, and I don't feel sorry for him.
I don't either.
Yeah, like you messed this up so much to a point. Like, I get the whole, like, maybe the reason why is because renting a girlfriend is a thing.
Yeah,
but don't fool your friends or family for an actual, like, oh, she is my girlfriend in a way.
Like, the whole concept of it is taboo.
Yeah.
Right? And like the fact that it actually exists in Japan is weird. And I guess they really,
well, I guess because this is more anime take, and
yeah,
his relationship with the girl, it's like it takes it to the max, I guess.
Yeah,
but I just don't like the fact that he's lying so often. It gave me the same vibe as Tozumaki-kun, where he has to lie a bit.
Yeah,
and at least on that one, he realizes I can't fake myself. I can't fake the relationship. He's got to be himself. And then right here, he straight out just keeps hiding the fact that he likes Chizuru.
Yeah,
and I'm like, oh no.
But yeah, back to the Mami and Chizuru day.
Yeah.
Like, I was surprised that Chizuru defended him again with saying like, "Yo, you're an idiot. Kazuya still likes you. He's told me many times, and you should give it an actual attempt instead of just brushing it off." And then Mommy was like, "You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Get out my face."
Yeah, because Ruka and Mommy, they as much as I don't like Mommy, she's kind of right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are living a lie in that relationship. So why are you telling me this if your relationships aren't real?
It's not real in the first place.
Yeah, I'm like, damn, ouch. Unless you do like him. That when she brought that up, I was like why?
She's not wrong.
Yeah.
I don't like her either, but she's not wrong. I was like, what are you doing, Chizuru?
Yeah. And we already know, as the audience, we already know both of the main characters like each other.
Yeah.
Whatever how you see it, that's how it means. How. Either way, that's what.
Yeah, like especially at the end of the episode, where Kazuya finally has the balls and be like, yes, kind of is like, I have feelings for you, like for a long time. And then she tries to reassure what he said, and that's when he backs out, the typical rom-com trope. Like, oh, I didn't mean it like that. What I meant to say was this, blah blah blah. I was like, all right, I'll talk to you later, bye. Yeah,
like it hit that trope.
It did, and it's
see, like compared to another show we watched, this one, the trope hit hard on this one.
Yes. And it's just an excuse to make another season.
Yeah, it ended. It ends like, oh, they like each other. Especially at the end of the credits.
Yeah, with Chizuru, kind of wanted to really happen.
Even more.
And yeah, that's how the episode ends. That's how the season ends. And let's just jump into reviews. All right, I'll start first. Obviously, Red Girlfriend. I guess I had a high expectation, right? The hype when this came out was pretty real, and it being, I think, 2 years now since it came out. Like people still like it, and Chizuru is amazing. She's an amazing girl. She's very loyal. She has her flaws though. She's not perfect in any way. She keeps up with the lie with Kazuya, who, as an MC as Kazuya, he's definitely not perfect. He has many flaws, and it's sometimes hard to watch him do the stuff he does in the show, like the whole stalker moments he does and his ideas at some points where I just like, what are you doing? But I think that just makes Kazuya who he is. He's not supposed to be a likable character, and that's fine. But it's just, sometimes some episodes are hard to watch. And Chizuru, who I thought I would love automatically, I do. She's still kind of best girl for me in the show, but now that I seen it this season, I seen better. And the other girls, Ruka, I don't know what she's doing. I feel sorry for her. Mommy, she go to hell. But she has her reasons to. And the new girl, she's just there. A lot of, I don't know, wasted potential, I feel like, happened with this show. Like, watching it more forward. There are some scenes I did like. The whole Kazuya saving Chizuru, I enjoyed. And Kazuya's friends, I also enjoyed as well. Like, they're pretty loyal to him. To a point where they're too loyal. And yeah, I'm keeping it short and sweet. I enjoyed this more than low tier character Tozumaki, if you haven't heard that review. And I gave this 5.5. Average, a little bit better average show, but there are way better rom-coms than this. And if I'm excited for second season, we'll see where it goes. But yeah, that's my opinion on Rent a Girlfriend. David?
Yeah, for me, if anything, I feel like maybe if this was me 2014 ish, or me, 2015, around there. Like right now, this show gives me the same vibes as Nisekoi, where the MC has a character he really likes, but like we're just bouncing around these girls. You get me?
Yeah.
And I feel like some of these rom-coms have that similarity to Rent a Girlfriend. And it's hard to talk about this show. Like at first, I thought I was gonna enjoy it. I thought the whole at first the whole lying thing was okay. I get it, but our MC himself kept pushing the lie after a lie, and then I'm like, oh jeez.
Yeah, it just kept piling up.
Yeah. And at the final end, he finally says, oh, it's always been my fault. It's not Chizuru's fault. But you got this really this late? Now? You made people suffer at this point. Especially your friends. Your two friends. That's one of your best friends.
Who still doesn't know.
Yeah, that still does not know. And I'm kind of still upset. The fact that this guy literally helped you, even though like Chizuru's not your girlfriend, at least tried to like maintain this relationship, this false relationship, But yeah, I don't know. This show's literally just it's not like super bad, super good. Like it's just in the middle for me. I'm at a 5.
Okay, yeah. Both basically in the same boat.
Yeah, like maybe I would have enjoyed the show a little bit more, maybe if I was younger.
Yeah, maybe like probably when it came out. It would have been like a better grading. But now that
I'm like, to tell you the truth, I wouldn't go back to Nisekoi. If to rewatch a show like that, like nah. Maybe I'm not that into those type of shows. Who knows? Maybe
it has its audience. I know it does.
Or probably I do have shows like that, but like it's just the way they had the lies. If anything, that's what ruined the show even more.
The lies.
More lies.
Continue.
The lies and the stalking.
And will like MC learn?
I guess he learned in the end, kind of.
I highly doubt it.
I don't know. Season 2, I don't know.
We'll see.
If you guys want us to review it, we'll review it.
We'll give it a shot.
We'll give the second part a shot. But if anything, like if you guys have any other rom-coms, tell us to check it out. Like I know Quintuplets is
that's another one.
Yeah, another one.
Getting a movie.
Do you want to check that one out next?
We'll see. We'll discuss it later.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is our review for Rent a Girlfriend. And
you guys tell us if you guys want us to review Quintuplets.
And tell us maybe if we're right or we're wrong.
Yeah.
I would love to know.
I could be wrong, I'm stupid sometimes. But yeah, this is our thoughts. Like most of our reactions, I should say this in the main podcast. Most of these reactions are like that the day of, so sometimes we feel the certain way when we first watch it, you get me? But then it changes later on.
Yeah.
Next anime we have is Platinum End, and oh boy. Where do I begin with Platinum End? So, from the last episode, when I talked about Platinum End, it was basically kind of felt more like a conclusion to the show itself. Well, probably should have seen that as a red flag, given that this episode was more or less an epilogue. Not just more or less, it was absolutely an epilogue. But the way it handled itself as an epilogue, and especially those last 5 minutes, it was unbelievable. So kind of to clarify what I'm talking about, I'll be honest here. This episode, it made me think, it made me ponder, and it took me a whole day to just kind of like recollect myself to kind of imagine what the hell I just saw. And to kind of give this review, or in a sense, or kind of what I'm talking about, some closure, some clarity, whatever you want to call it, I actually wrote out a review, a full-on scripted review, kind of similar to Josh's review for Sunny Boy, but this is at the complete opposite spectrum. I wrote this because I needed to flesh out everything that I said, in a sense. So starting off, this is my Platinum End review, because I need to discuss this as a review before we actually get to the meat and potatoes of what this episode is about, which I actually have included in the text. But here we go. So going into the show, I had some pretty high expectations, given that this was made by the same manga team that gave us Death Note and Bakuman. Death Note in particular is well known for having mind battles, so in some ways Platinum End delivered an experience that started out very strong with its opening episode, main character, and its immediate supporting cast, but was dropping the ball the more and more the series progressed. The show's main character, Mirai, was a very interesting and subversive protagonist in that at first he cared little regarding the state of humanity and the world as a whole, and was more focused on living a peaceful life, and focused more on his happiness after the angel Nase rescued him from his imminent death through falling off a tall building, and he had formed his mindset despite his suicide being tied to a tragic life and backstory involving his aunt and uncle murdering Mirai's immediate family over claiming life insurance money, in which afterward they adopted Mirai and abused him up to his breaking point that led him to commit suicide in the first place. Saki, being a character that is directly tied to Mirai's happiness as well as being his love interest, also has a substantial effect on Mirai's being, and as a relationship develops, so too does their outlook on life and the value of life itself. Uryu Kanade, aka Metropoliman, was the total opposite in that his outlook on life was measured by wealth, status, and outward appearance. But despite his Rosin personality and views, Kanade in particular was in a large part the crux of what gave the show the entertainment value that it had. In a different time period, I can very much imagine Kanade as being the protagonist rather than who we actually got. And the marketing, artwork, and the first ED of the anime really shows who is getting all the attention. His actions were very much the opposite of Mirai's, and he didn't care who he trampled over to get what he wanted. He very much embodied all that our heroes were against, and Kanade himself played into his role very well. Despite how entertaining this all is, a big reason why the show's enjoyment was declining for me was because of the supposed plot armor and next level and practical intelligence that Kanade was displaying. A big reason why characters like Light and L worked in Death Note was despite the impossible strategies these characters were implementing, the characters still felt like as if they were bound to the realities of their world. But the lengths that Kanade was able to get away with was often borderline or even passing that of a Saturday morning cartoon. By the way, the Ren and Stimpy kind, not the Batman the Animated Series kind. Which hindered a lot of the immersion I initially had with the show, and my friends in the podcast felt the same way, which is why they had stopped halfway into the show's run. Ironically enough, the week after we stopped watching the anime as a group was when Kanade met his ultimate demise in just halfway into the show's life. The series afterward felt like it had somewhat of an identity crisis, since now that the cartoonish supervillain was killed off, it didn't know what to do with its battle royale situation anymore. So from this point on, the show mostly took the effort in making the resolve a more peaceful one and finding who gets to be God, through interviews, finding the remaining God candidates, and overall seeing who would be a good pick in general. The general consensus seemed to be between Mirai and a suicidal middle schooler named Shuji Nakaumi. The main conflict from the second half onward was more to do with the public gaining full knowledge of the God selection process and the government trying to hunt down the remaining God candidates. The conflict then becomes nullified once the final God candidate comes into the picture, a Nobel Peace-winning scientist by the name of Gaku Yoneda, who through ties of his accolades tells the Prime Minister to not meddle in the process and instead takes upon himself to eliminate the remaining candidates to stop the creature, which, God, from appearing. hence why the 2 episodes before this final one was meant to end that off. Given all that has happened throughout this series, what affected me most out of all of this, and what made me write my thoughts into a full written review, was because of its ending, and not because I revere the ending in high regards like the ending to Ousama Ranking or 86 to name a few. But rather the ending angered me and felt it had wasted my time, and with this it made me ponder on my thoughts on what happened throughout everything and how pointless the entire endeavor felt because of it. So to summarize what happened, after episode 23, we get Nakaumi's perspective on his treasure as God. He asks questions regarding what the creature is and how his form changed and the policies he wishes to enact, while at the same time, questions the validity of his existence and why he became God in the first place. He further asks questions regarding why Nase was able to interact with humans in which Nase herself did not know the answer to. The original God's consciousness, which at this point had not been fully fused with Nakaumi, explains to him that humans were his creation and that someone else had created God, and when Nase was in her simplest biological form, had been following God ever since. 6 years passes on the remaining characters that survived their battles are living happily. Tamari becomes an assistant to Yoneda while not remembering what had transpired throughout the God selection process due to her wanting her memories erased, and Yoneda was gifted with a single red arrow by Nakaumi, so that he could research the arrow and what makes it work in a scientific sense. Meanwhile, Mirai and Saki are living their lives happily as a couple, finishing high school, getting engaged, and later married, and open a small flower shop together. However, all of this comes to an end when Nakaumi comes to the realization that God is not needed to help make suicide a more acceptable in society, as he saw that many individuals were committing suicide even without his actions. With this deduction, he came to the conclusion that he wanted to pass that message to Yoneda, and to him, the best way to do so was to end his life with the white arrow. Nakaumi, by the way, to end his own life. And therefore the existence of angels and all the arrows would disappear entirely, allowing Yoneda to figure out that the creature, God, didn't need to exist. However, this mistake causes all life to disappear. Asaki notices all the plants in the shop are all gone. Later, all the children in the world start disappearing. And it was then that everyone realized that all forms of life started to disappear. Entirely in order from youngest to oldest. Realizing this, Mirai and Saki decided to embrace each other one last time, knowing that their time had come to an end. And Mirai thanks Nase for saving his life that day that ultimately allowed him to live his best year since the end of the God selection process. Back at his lab, Yoneda almost discovers why this rapture is happening. Right when he was about to draw to his conclusion, he did not have enough time to process what truly happened, as he then disappeared like everyone else in the world. In the end, all life from plants to animals to people are all gone, and as more time passes, the earth goes through desertification, and godly phrases appear saying to give up on this planet, and the life form capable of death will not be born here. And with that, the series ends. So all in all, my feelings for the show have had high ups and extremely low downs, and especially with this ending leaving me feeling very perplexed to a degree that not many anime or media has given me before. Unfortunately, this feeling is the bad kind, and had me taken about a day to think on this experience. A lot of the implications has me believing that the author most likely quit toward the end and decided to nuke all sense of progress of the show itself, and that's why we were given the ending that we had. But we'll never know. I never looked into what happened regarding why the story ended the way it did, but there's a big chance that may have happened. Another aspect I thought on was maybe this was the intent the whole time, and that given that the unfortunate events happen at a regular that God killing himself is yet another mistake. Who knows? Either way, we'll never know, and with that, I give this show my rating of 4 out of 10. Originally, I had considered to give this a 5 or even a 6, but after the ending, it affected me so hard that I was even considering giving this show a 1 out of 10 because of how much I felt time was wasted. But that would have undermined what I had felt watching the rest of the series, as well as what Mirai himself felt. My thoughts on Mirai in general haven't changed, and it's sad that a character like him was unfortunately placed in an anime like this. If there was anyone I felt bad for, it was him. regardless, I'm still looking forward to what Oba and Obata has in store, and hopefully, the next project won't be anything like Platinum End brought forth. And yeah, that's my rating for Platinum End. It's a 4 out of 10. Like I said, I was heavily considering rating this a 1 or 2 out of 10. And before I saw the ending, I was even considering rating this of either a 5 or maybe even a 6 out of 10. But I thought 4 was probably a good idea to kind of put this on. But yeah, that was my review. Took a while to kind of put my thoughts in, but here we are. I'm gonna try and forget I saw this anime, not because of the fact that it was painful, but because that ending, still, I'm not a big fan of. I honestly, like, even after waiting in on everything that happened, it still felt like a waste of time. So we'll see what happens. Like, we'll see. If anything, if we had an ending like this, I would have rather this ending just be like a separate little side thing rather than just that being the event. But we'll just have to wait and see kind of what the team has to offer. And like I said in my review, hopefully it's not anything what Platinum End brought to the table.
The next show we have is Lupin the Third, Part 6, episode 24, also known as the last episode of this part.
Oh, man.
And it's basically the conclusion of this whole grand story of Tomoe brainwashing Lupin.
Yeah.
So was it really confirmed that it is or it's not? Well,
Hard confirmed, apparently, according to Lupin, that Tomoe is not the mother.
Yeah.
But are we entirely sure? Because remember, he got the box at the end, and he didn't want to even reveal what's in there, right?
No, because the box had the true information of his roots.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, he was like, I don't need it because my roots are right here with my family.
Right
His family.
My family, my nakama.
His familia.
Which is very cool. Like, you know, his gang's basically his ride or die, right? So it makes sense for them to be in the roots.
I love the scene where Fujiko's just slapping him. He's like, damn, man, that hurts.
I know, he's still trying to play it cool.
Yeah.
Like if he's still brain control.
It just shows just how cunning Lupin is, you know? He was in the moment the whole time. Like he already snapped out of it.
Yeah.
What an actor.
What a great actor.
Yeah,
Always has been.
The bullet wound wasn't part of the act. Which I'm like, what part of it? Because it hit him right square in the chest, so he must have had some internal damage. I'm like, I was surprised just how much he was able to move around. I mean, even for Lupin, I mean, I'm like, that's kind of stretching it.
Hey,
He
man.
didn't have a bulletproof vest or nothing. No, he took a gunshot straight to the ribs, and he's A-okay.
Hey, man, it was wild, too, when he was doing the whole, monkey thing at the vault.
Oh.
Yeah.
He was trying to sneak, even though with that bullet hole in his chest. He had to take a little breather for a second, too. He knows the breathing technique, of course. Right?
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
The Demon Slayer one.
Yeah.
Hey, man, that just, the Lupin, walk crawl to the lasers. You have to see it, man.
You got me?
She kind of reminded me of Natalie Portman in her child actress role with John Reno. I forgot what the name of the film is.
Oh, the Professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of reminds me of The Professional.
But you get me? Like
She's a child killer.
Yeah, she murdered a lot of people, but was it for the the murders?
Yeah.
Like does this count as like, oh look, she's revenge was the whole thing,
So my question is that she was blaming Tomoe for turning her into an assassin, but I'm like, she was already killing people even before she found her.
Yeah. I think that's the whole gist of it. Like Lupin saying, like, you still have to, pay for what you did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't blame Tomoe for everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why Zenigata took her in. It was like, yo, you gotta pay for your time.
Thank God Ari survived though, Ariana.
Oh yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that was cool.
I'm curious if we're gonna see more of her later in the
I don't know,
future.
because she was not in the final shot.
She was not. No, I mean maybe she's still recovering.
Hopefully. Yeah, but
It's gonna happen. We'll see it.
yeah, I like
The next part would be the same.
I liked in this episode, like, you know, when Lupin's in the brainwash and you see bits and pieces of the gangs, like the hat or like the sword. It's like, hey, snap out of it, bro. This ain't you. So that was really cool to see. All right, Billy. And
Yeah, cause it just shows just how much trust Lupin has in his crew. Like this whole part in general, like especially with those one-offs episodes, or I guess quote unquote one-off episodes.
yeah,
It really just shows just like how vital everyone is to the whole team itself. Like Jigen, Goemon, Fujiko, everyone. Even Zenigata at some point too.
yeah,
I like that when they bring up the fight, you know, with Goemon and Lupin.
Oh yeah.
How their fight was compared. That was part 5, where they had the fight with each other and stuff. Like this
That's
fight
true,
was
yeah.
different. I was like, oh damn.
There's it is something that I noticed that like four onward, like 4, 5, and 6 pretty much like to make references from one another.
Yeah.
Which isn't a bad thing. Because at the same time they're not entirely necessary for you to like enjoy part 5 or part 6 or whatever. But it does kind of reward like more of like the, you know, the continuous fan.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like, hey, you know, here's some like little pieces and nuggets of kind of like continuity and stuff, because that stuff didn't exist at all in like the early parts, like 1, 2, or 3. So
okay. But yeah, overall that was the episode and the conclusion of the Tomoe arc, brainwashing.
We got a breakout.
Oh yes, the red hair girl. But she didn't like care about like what happened to Lupin. She's like, I want to do whatever.
We'll probably see her again.
That's true.
Yeah, probably.
That could be like a setup.
Yeah.
I like the fact that the new Lupin mythos is kind of like forming its own like cast of characters aside from like the big 5 that we all know, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I think it's kind of cool that there's like a consistent kind of like size. It's the same thing with Lupin's I forget his name, but like you know who I mean, right? Right, David? You know the blonde guy with the glasses.
Yeah.
That was under the same tutelage as Lupin was. Yeah, it kind of like I like the fact that we have that, and then Yata too.
Lupin is not it's not having its own old roots, but in like spreading even bigger.
Would you
Right,
say?
yeah, it's like a combination of the two.
Yeah.
Would you say spreading his roots more?
Yeah.
Expanding the family?
so.
Yeah, in a way. And I like that too. The fact that we're getting like characters, revisiting some characters that were from the other part, and then from the other part too, makes it more enjoyable instead of being like an episodic show or episodic, I guess, part.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I think with that wraps up that episode. And with that, our review
time.
And I'll go first, like always. Me being the noob of Lupin, not seeing previous parts, so I could go with saying like, you know, this was a first time experience watching a singular part, and I liked it. I liked it a lot. Lupin versus Sherlock Holmes. That's right there. That's a ticket seller right there. If I ever heard one. Like, those names are iconic, and you want to see this fight. It's not what I expected, and I like that. That arc itself, they brought the best of both characters, and in their own way, and I really enjoyed it a lot. The one-offs, some of them hit that stand out to me. The whole Saint Gabriel and fighting the devil bird, that stuck out to me the most. I was like, damn, not even Lupin wanted to steal that. And like, you know, there was some misses, like the fandom one in particular did not like. But overall, my experience with Lupin the game, me being my introduction to the anime, I think it was really good. Animation kicked ass. Lupin looks fantastic. The game looks fantastic. I just me having prior knowledge to the movies, like I I fit right in, honestly. So I think that's the best appealing part about the Lupin franchise. Like you could jump in, have a good time no matter what. And the second part of it, less enjoyable for me with the whole Tamori arc. I just was whatever. I feel like I was kind of missed. I like the reveal of the end, but I feel like it could have been more, especially with the huge hype of Sherlock versus Lupin, which is amazing. But with that being said, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Really enjoyed it. I would recommend it. You know, if you've never seen Lupin, you could watch this one, and if you loved it, go watch the other parts. I plan on doing that. But yeah, that is my review. And David?
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier in general, I like the fact that we're expanding more now with some of these recurring characters. And I like that Zenigata is getting development in general now, even more. Like he has a crew now compared to how he was back in like I never saw the beginning parts of Lupin, like part 1, part 2 or anything else. I started at 5, but I seen clips of how Zenigata used to be, and it was always him, you know, always yelling at Lupin kind of thing, and he always had his police force behind him, but now he's starting to build like a group with him. So he's not running solo on his own. You get me? At least that's what I know. Abby probably has knows more about that. But I really enjoy the fact that he has people with him. And now, even though I don't like Zenigata's partner in general, his second partner, but I finally kind of grow to him now. Especially now that he has there's an actual relationship between all his subordinates, if you could say.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, I enjoyed the first part, of course, of the, you know, the thing that made especially the trailer for this part really enjoyable, you know, the whole Sherlock Holmes thing. I wish they did more with Moriarty right after that, but we didn't. We pretty much left England for this other arc that I was not too fond with it. I didn't like the one-off episodes. I like 1 or 2, but that was it. And I kind of didn't like the whole part where they try to connect it in a way. But I wish that that second arc had, like, it was a little bit more connected. Like we saw more of the mom figure even more. Like seen her in the past even more. But I guess that kind of ruins what I guess the last 2 episodes are.
Yeah. The mystery of it.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know. Those 2 episodes, like, they were entertaining, but I'm like, I wish they were bigger.
Yeah, it wasn't like compared to the first part.
Yeah.
Climactic. I get you.
Yeah, like I didn't have that impact where that success that the first part ended. So if anything, I still enjoyed the show, and I would still recommend the show, and I'll give it a 6.
Oh, okay.
Yes, 6 out of 10.
All right. Robbie.
All right. My turn. So yeah, going into Lupin Part 6, obviously, like I'm the Lupin guy. But yeah, regarding Part 6, I definitely agree with Omar and David that there are definitely problems with Part 6, especially the second part. The first part was entertaining. I honestly, part of me kind of wished that they stuck with the Sherlock Holmes narrative throughout the entire season. The one-offs also, especially compared to Part 5's one-offs, like this one felt definitely weaker. Because Part 5's, the cool thing about Part 5's one-off episodes was that they were themed after previous Lupin parts.
Yeah.
So Green Jacket was more serious one-offs, the Red Jacket was more silly, and then the Pink Jacket was just absurd. stuff like that. But this one was just kind of like, oh, this one, Lupin sees a crazy fangirl, or like this one, they gotta work together, or like the Jigen episode, stuff like that.
Modeling.
Yeah, and some of them were cool. But yeah, this one was kind of weak in that comparison. I think the cool thing about part 6 that I can say was that it kind of felt like it was less about Lupin himself and more about his relationship with the crew. But big but on this, while that is cool to see, I can definitely say that another Lupin film that does this way better, in my opinion, is the first Lupin film, the Secret of Mamo, or Mystery of Mamo. That film always had a more dynamic between all the characters, where like each one kind of gets their own special part, and that was all in the film. That was released way back in 1978. So if you want to have an experience with that, then I definitely recommend that film over the second part in regards to kind of seeing the characters kind of like work together and everything. But yeah, the first part was entertaining, definitely. The Sherlock Holmes was great. It just kind of sucks that we don't get to see him at all in the second part or anything like that. But and then the new characters were also fun too. Again, I hope that we get to see more of them in a future part or film special, whatever. That would also be really cool to see. And the fact that like the characters themselves are getting like they're getting more of a refresh while still kind of keeping the same tradition is really fun to see. But overall, I guess onto my rating, I'll give this one, same as David, a 6 out of 10. Okay. It's not the strongest Lupin I've ever seen, but it's also not the most egregious Lupin thing out there. It's definitely like a more of a middle of the road situation or scenario. I could recommend this to a first-time Lupin viewer, but if you to me, my personal opinion, if you want a nice Lupin experience or a first-time Lupin experience, I definitely recommend some of the films, like either Mystery of Mamo, like I mentioned earlier, or Castle of Cagliostro. It's not because of my bias with Castle of Cagliostro, but I recommend those films. But as this Lupin series itself, I think it's serviceable. But yeah, it's a 6 out of 10 for me.
Yeah, I think overall 6 out of 10. I feel like to all of us, that first part was like awesome, and it's just a shame.
Oh no, it's the devil's number, man. You talked about that episode.
with the.
If it was just part 5, I would probably like this part would have definitely been a contender for like an 8 out of 10 even.
Yeah, I think so.
Especially with a lot of the scenes and stuff. But the second half of the series definitely hindered it a lot.
No, especially
for everyone, I think.
It was cool that they brought up Moriarty for a second too. I was like, oh, so are we gonna get a little bit story with Moriarty?
Nope.
So I feel like maybe next part we might get Moriarty.
Yeah, or like I said, a special maybe, like a Moriarty meets Lupin kind of thing.
Yeah.
I can see that too.
Yeah, that is our Lupin Part 6 review, and it was a fun ride, but kind of dipped soured. But overall, it did its job. Not to the best, but not to its worst either. So
yeah.
A passing grade from us. And if you take anything out of this review, just watch more Lupin. And that's gonna wrap up the minis and the podcast in general. And like always, if you made it this far, thank you for listening. We appreciate it. It gives us more support, all that good stuff. And like always, I've been your host Omar.
And this is David.
And we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.